Hey, how's it going? Today is day 74 of my 100-day inspiration challenge. And today I want to talk about coincidences. And I want to talk about a specific coincidence that has happened in my life. So, for some of you that know, my mom passed away this summer. She passed away on August 21st. And her funeral, actually, it was really a celebration of life because luckily for us, I suppose, we had 2.5 months where we knew that she was going to pass. And so we got all her affairs in order and we got to have that time and really celebrate and live life and create memories that we will carry with us forever. So she passed away on the 21st. And her celebration of life, or her funeral, was on August 28th. And the thing about it was we actually wanted her funeral to be on August 27th, but that day was taken. And so August 28th was the second choice. And so that was the day that was available. So during this same time, I had recently gotten engaged, and I got engaged to my fiance with my mom present. It was a really beautiful story. My mom was involved in our relationship the whole time. Actually, side point, so my fiance and I, we went to high school together and we hardly knew each other back then. And we kind of talked via social media recently, before we got back together. And we ended up running into each other because I was supposed to hang out with my mom, and my mom kind of pushed me out the door and she was like, I need to take a nap. Why don't you just go and come back in a couple hours? And I was like, okay, thanks, Mom. Like, thanks for leaving me high and dry. But because she pushed me out, I actually ran into my fiance, and that is what started our relationship. And so my mom and my fiance and I, we've always had this intertwined relationship. So like I said, we got engaged in front of my mom, and it was really beautiful and really special. And so during this time when my mom was in hospice, my fiance and I were looking at different wedding venues, and because of all of the weddings this year that were canceled or postponed, next year in 2021 is super packed. And originally we wanted our wedding to be in June of 2021, and all of the dates at our venue were booked. And so then we thought September. Again, all of the dates were booked. So we said, okay, what dates do you have available from April to November? And so we were only looking for Saturdays. We said, what Saturdays do you have available from April to November? Because we really loved this venue. The only day that they had available was August 28th, 2021. So the fact that my mom's celebration of life was August 28th, 2020, and then my wedding is going to be August 28th, 2021. And by the way, we're going to get married in the same chapel that my mom had her celebration of life. And a whole other thing is 8.5 years ago, when I first left home to move to California on my own to pursue my dreams, guess what the date was? August 28th, 2012. So crazy. So this day is a day that is so connected to me for whatever reason. And I was just in awe. I couldn't believe it because this was not the day that we chose for my mom's funeral. This was not the day that we chose for our wedding. And yet it was like, it was a God thing. It was like, for whatever reason, this day, August 28th, was chosen for my mom and chosen for our wedding. And I could not deny the coincidence of it. And so I started thinking deeper about what all of this meant, because I am always looking for answers. And if there is a coincidence, I believe that it is never a coincidence. I believe that there is something deeper going on. And so I spent the next month or two thinking about what all of this meant and what 828 meant, and trying to figure out answers about all of it. And I thought I had an idea in my mind. Originally, I thought 8 is like the symbol of infinity. And so infinity, 2 infinities, the letter 2, maybe that's equal sign. And so it meant like infinity. This dimension, earth, and infinity, heaven, where my mom was. Like, we're always connected. It's all the same. Everything is together. And that was my justification until about a month ago, I was reading my Bible. And like I've mentioned, I read a chapter of my Bible a day. And so I was reading the Bible, and I was in the book of Romans. And if you've ever read the Bible, you might know that sometimes there are little asterisks by different verses. And for the most part, I usually don't pay attention to those asterisks. This is also like in textbooks, sometimes there's asterisks where they give you more information. And usually I'm rushing through things. I'm a go, go, go type of person, so I don't have time for the asterisk. But for whatever reason, I was like, this is an interesting verse that has an asterisk. I'm going to look down and see what this means or what the extra information is. And then I looked down because there were a bunch of different ones throughout that page. So I had to look at the chapter and the verse, and I looked down and it was 8:28. And I was like, 8:28, that is the day that my mom and I are so connected. And the verse was Romans 8:28, and we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. So up until that point, leading up to that in Romans 8, it was talking about suffering and how life on earth is full of suffering, and the suffering is worth it because when we go to heaven, we have God's glory, and that is way better, and it makes the suffering worth it. And it was just, I just felt the power within this verse, Romans 8:28, and I just knew that my mom's Bible, so I actually took my mom's Bible when she passed, and I was reading my own Bible, and I just had a really strong feeling. I was like, I know that this is my mom speaking to me, and I know that this is what 8:28 means, and I know that my mom highlighted this verse. And so I went to her Bible, and sure enough, Romans 8:28 was highlighted. And I just lost it. I could not believe it. I felt like it was so clear that my mom and that God were speaking to me. And the fact that it was talking about suffering up until that point was so powerful, because my mom suffered a lot in her life. She was in a lot of pain. Even toward the end, she had so much suffering, and even as she was dying, she was so excited to be with Jesus. And so that's what it was talking about, letting go of suffering, or the suffering is a part of life, but then we get to go see Jesus. And at that moment when I read it, I was also suffering because I was missing my mom. And the fact that the verse talked about how everything works together for the good, it was just like, my suffering right now is for a reason. The fact that my mom passed away is for a reason. And we might not have the answers. I might not have the answers, but everything is working for the good. And the fact that it said everything, that meant to me that everything is connected, that I am still connected to my mom. And the fact that it was Romans 8:28, that special day that has so many coincidences in my life, made it even more meaningful that it said everything is working together. So I just thought it was so powerful that I couldn't deny it. And I couldn't say that this is just a coincidence, because I truly believe that there is no such thing as coincidences. I truly believe that every single coincidence happens for a reason. And there are 4 points that I want to talk about with coincidences. And the first is believing that there is something bigger than us at work. So I don't know if you believe in God or if you believe in the universe or whatever. I personally believe in God, but how can you deny that there is something bigger and greater than us at hand? I think that these moments, these coincidences, they are so powerful. Even birth, even looking at plants and nature, it is so clear that there is something greater at force. We are all a part of something greater. And so I really just want to encourage you to look deeper within that and decide for yourself what you believe about our universe and how we were created. The second thing is to be an investigator. So when 828 was a coincidence, like I said, I looked deeper into that. I searched for meaning. And because I searched, I really believe that answers are revealed. And so whatever it is in your life, you can look deeper within it. If you search, if you ask, if you are patient, those answers will be revealed to you. They're not always super obvious. You have to look for them and you have to be open to them. But if you investigate, if you are looking for meaning, you will find it. And there is always meaning, because there is no such thing as coincidence. The third thing is to be open to the messages. So I always believe that if something is coming back to you over and over and over again, whether it is a type of person that is coming into your life, or a certain message that you're hearing over and over and over again, I believe that it's for a reason. And I think that there are two reasons why it might be coming over and over and over again. And those two reasons are that A, maybe you can go deeper and maybe you can learn something from this, or B, maybe you are being asked to change something about yourself. Maybe you have to grow. Maybe you're attracting a certain type of partner that isn't good or isn't healthy for you, and it keeps being presented to you, and it will keep being presented to you until you change, until you evolve. So if there are things that are coming to you over and over and over again, be open to what the message is. Ask and see what you can learn from it, and maybe you can go deeper and learn something about yourself, and maybe it is that you need to change, but be open to what that message is. It's not just a coincidence. And the last thing is, I believe that, like that verse said, everything is working for your good. Everything is working for our good, even the bad times, even the death of my mom. I have found so much strength within me from that hard, terrible, painful experience. Right now, so many of us are going through different things, different painful things, different anxieties, different fears. And those fears are for a reason. They are happening so that you can grow. They are challenging you. They are working out for your good and shifting your perspective. And rather than thinking of yourself as a victim of your circumstance, being open and what can you learn from this situation? How can you step up? How can you grow from this? Because the truth is that these things, everything in life is working out for the good of you. And I really believe this to be true. This verse, even since this experience about a month ago, this verse has come back to me multiple different times when I needed it. There was about a week ago when I was going through something, maybe 2 weeks ago when I was going through something, and I opened up a book and it was Romans 8:28. What are the odds? And then today I was listening to a sermon and it was all about Romans. And I really needed to hear that message. I believe that these coincidences, they come when you need them most of all. And they come for a reason. Be an investigator. What does it mean? Be open to the message. Be humble enough to listen and accept the message that God or the universe or whatever you believe in is giving you, and truly believe that everything is working for your good. Thank you so much for showing up with me tonight. I hope you keep showing up for yourself. If you do, there is nowhere that you can go but up. If you would like more free resources, you can head over to my website, showuptogoup.com. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.